Hi there everybody, Amanda Buck, fine bookbinder out of Dahlonega, Georgia. This is part 2 of part 1 and 2 of the books that I worked on. Last week I finished them up a few days ago. I'm just now getting around to the video. I'll get right to it. Tried to do them in the same order. The first one was this leather that needed a new hinge. We've rehinged it. I moved the rear end sheet to the front and then did a facsimile end sheet on the back and dyed and oiled, got that one back into shape. Muhlenberg County, I ended up having to do a little more work on this one than I thought. When I quoted it to the owner, I ended up rehinging it, relining the spine, and doing cloth patching on the interior of the head and tail. So I ended up doing more work than I quoted on this one, but in order to get it looking good and being solid, sometimes it's worth it to go the extra mile, even if you don't get paid for it, to make the book come out correctly. Our next ones were the 4 cloth rebacks, which came out nice. They didn't. Remember, this one didn't have a spine. We put in a matching cloth hinge on the front and rear. I think I did a facsimile photocopy end sheet. This was missing an end sheet. Matching spine and a ink and paper label. This is the one that was eaten up by bugs, and I went around and dyed all of the chewed off bits. The spine was severely disintegrated, so I ended up just kind of cutting the spine rather than putting on the broken pieces. I just cut what was left of the titling, cleaned that up, and put that on. That is and matching cloth hinges on the interior. Oh, got a little bit of extra there. I think I also had to do a facsimile photocopy end sheet for this because it was missing an end sheet. So that one came out nice. And our 2 large bindings, the cloth would not lift. It was so enmeshed into the board and so deteriorated. What I did was I just cleaned off the cloth and matched new cloth to match what was there originally. And we have volume 1 and 2. Those came out nice and clean. I did ink and paper labels for those. I'm not doing any gold lines on any of these because the look right now amongst a lot of my booksellers is they'd rather have it bare. Rather than putting on fresh gold lines, they like to just keep it plain. So that's why there aren't any gold lines at head and tail on those. The Grand Hotel, I just did Kozoshi tissue repair where there were breaks in the text, and then while I had it open and dismantled, I did a little Kozoshi along the spine, so that came out great. It's functioning and you can't even tell it's been worked on. This one, New York Revolution, like I mentioned before, I lifted the spine, put matching cloth underneath, did some dye work and relaid that original. It came out okay, as good as it's going to get. The pamphlets that I showed you, the owner decided not to have them redone because of the price and the amount of work involved and what he could resell them for. So the pamphlets, the 2 pamphlets that I had are not going to be rebound. Reverend David Caldwell came out. This one that I was hesitant to work on, I did a little Japanese Kozoshi tissue hinge on the front and rear. I didn't think it needed it, but upon further inspection it did need it. So I did a delicate tissue hinge in there and glued down loose leather. I did a little patch at the head and a patch at the tail. We want to keep it as original as possible. That's what the owner wants. Don't mess with it. Just put it all back so it's in one piece. So that one actually came out better than I thought it would. And the 3 leathers we're still deliberating on. The only one that we went through with was the one that had both of its original boards, and we did a calf recreation of the spine, new 22 karat calf label, and the date 1710 at the bottom, and we kept all of our original end sheets Did a matching antique paper hinge, so the book looks as old and original as possible. Had to do a little page repair on the front. So this is the only one we got to. The other two we're still deciding on how we're going to approach it. We're still trying to match up boards, and that might be something that'll sit on the back burner for a while, or else we'll go through and do new leather. It just depends on when the owner shows up and decides what he wants to do. So this is my follow-up. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll have a new one out soon. And have a Happy New Year, and keep on watching. Thanks. Bye-bye.